Hey guys and gals, welcome to episode 2 of BRG Talks. I'm your host, Black Ram Gaming, aka Elijah Kenny, for those of you who know me outside my online persona. I have a baseball hat on and my chin strap's growing back in, so obviously I know what I'm talking about. Alright, today we have some bitches and gripes directed towards Treyarch again, but I don't want to take up the whole podcast with my frustrations, so I'll limit myself to 30 seconds at the end. We also have some of the latest gaming news releases, talks about the coming year, this year, 2021, in relation to gaming. I'd also love to have an interactive conversation with you all about cheaters, hackers, and glitches in relation to online multiplayer games. We'll define each category, or at least what I feel each category should be separated into, and we'll talk about some potential fixes that could occur and ways to mitigate people who cheat to win in online games. I would love to also get you all's opinions about cheaters and your thoughts on like how to stop it and what should happen to the people who get caught cheating or exploiting. So hopping right into it, to me, these definitions might not, y'all might not agree with these definitions, but these are what I uh, feel about each group, and I'll explain a little bit more as I go on. But to me, cheaters are someone who who uses third-party software to give them unfair advantages in games against players who are not cheating, obviously. Examples include like aimbots, wall hacks, sound hacks, speed hacks, or any software developed specifically to help a player cheat to win a game. Cheaters are everywhere. Cheaters have been found in major games such as Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Fall Guys. The list goes on and on. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're really in every single game. Uh, I've come across many myself in many different games in my gaming exploits, but it pisses me off every time I run into them. I'm gonna be honest. I hate it. It makes me mad, and I hate losing, but especially to people who have to cheat to win. It makes me really mad. Anyway, moving on. Are you really so bad at the game that you have to like cheat to get a win? Or like why do you do it? What's the point? To the cheaters, if there's any listening, why? I just want to know why. Does it boost your ego? Are you so proud of your 25 kill win? Because you shouldn't be. Because you obviously don't have the skills to get that on your own without cheating, without the help of cheating, I guess. So what do you guys think should be the result for players who are caught in these major games using third-party software to cheat to win? I believe it should be addressed with MAC address banning, meaning the cheater can't make or just like make an ultimate account or an alternate account and and just like use the cheats on a different account on the same game. So a MAC address ban would mean that the cheaters would have to get a new console or PC just to be able to play the game again, or uh, figure out how to change their actual MAC address for that console, which not everybody knows how to do. This would actually kind of boost the sales as the cheaters would have to purchase a new system and a new game to be able to cheat again. And on top of that, uh, it would also widen the player base as you hear about crackdowns on cheaters in the game. You're going to want to play it. There's a lot of games that I have stopped playing because cheaters are so rampant, and if I see any kind of social media post from the devs saying that they've actually done something about the cheaters, I would come back and I would also try to get my friends to get that same game as well. So that being said, like on this second strike from like the same player, um, they get put an IP ban, permanently banning them from like any servers with that IP address, and or we could put them into cheater lobbies, which is players made up entirely, or lobbies made up of players using cheats. Okay, so make the cheaters face the cheaters. Right, that makes sense to me. Fall Guys, shout out to them. They actually made a cheater lobby. So I think a lot more games should follow in those footsteps as far as mitigating the cheaters, because the cheaters are gonna have to cheat against each other. So that makes sense. This is pretty harsh, y'all might say, but no, it isn't. There have been legitimate cheaters caught playing and winning in multi-million-dollar tournaments in these games. Like, that's unacceptable. Ban them all for life, I say. What does the company have to lose by doing this, honestly? Nothing, in my opinion. Because, like I said, it'll boost the player base. And let's be real, anybody who's cheating and knows that what they're doing could get them banned is not going to be spending the money on microtransactions that they have in the store, in the games. You're not going to do that. I mean, if you know that that account could get banned for life with what you're doing, you're not going to spend your actual money on skins, whatever emotes, to have those on that account. You're not. So it's not like they're losing any money by banning cheaters from microtransactions at the very least. And if they did what I was suggesting earlier, they might even get more from sales from cheaters who are really determined to get back in there buying the game again. But yeah, so when you know what you're doing, like, I don't know. Every cheater knows that they're cheating, and they know that they could eventually get caught. I honestly, if there's any people who use third-party software to cheat, please let me know. I would love to have you on the podcast, and we can talk about it. Honestly, I want to know why. I want to know why, and I have some other questions too, but the main one is why. And now these are just my opinions. You know, feel pretty strongly about them. Honestly, I despise when I get beat by a cheater, but maybe they could change my mind if I have them on the podcast and we can talk it out and see. So if any of you guys out there use third party software, hit me up. We'll have a conversation on the podcast. I'll have you on the podcast. I'll let everybody hear your side as well, if that's what you want. But if you all are interested in this, make sure you like and follow the YouTube and the Facebook, and you can directly message me on those if you're interested in joining the conversation or the podcast. All right, so moving on to hackers. All right, so hackers, in my opinion, are those who change the actual game code to benefit themselves. Again, most major games, even a large amount of indie games, have all experienced hackers. Examples of this, say you're playing like Bangalore in Apex Legends. If you play the game, you know Bangalore's abilities, but if you don't, this character has a smoke grenade launcher that launches a large cloud of smoke, so you can reposition, revive your teammates, or whatever you need the smoke for, honestly. But those are the most common ones. A common hack is to make sure that some particles don't appear on the player's screen who is hacking. So if the enemy is using this hack in the smoke, your smoke grenade won't do anything. You could be in the middle of the smoke grenade and get roasted by these people because they have this hack that their particles don't appear. And they can see directly through your smoke. Now, I classify this as a hack and not a cheat because the players have edited the game code to their benefit. It is more or less built into the game code, but you also have to have some knowledge of coding to be able to do hacks like this. So if you can go in and edit the code on your system, it's kind of in the game, but it's kind of not. So the reason I classify this as a hack and not a cheat is because the players have edited the game code to their benefit. It's not a third-party software it's in the game code, more or less. Another common hack is like the game called Phasmophobia, however you pronounce it. It's a popular ghost hunting game, and the game code states that the player lobbies max out at 4 players. However, if you were to go into the coding in the game, you can easily edit that lobbies can hold as many people as you want. Now, in my opinion, there's 2 different types of hacks. One, the obvious, bending the game code to benefit yourself or your team. The second, which is the second example I gave, is a lot less harmless. It doesn't really affect anybody. It doesn't give you anything other than it lets you play with more of your friends at once. So I feel like that kind of hack, harmless, doesn't hurt anybody, but other ones that people use to their advantage, that's not okay. And for the punishments, I think a 1 week ban from the game they got caught hacking in is fair. And but if they keep doing it after this ban, they might be looking at getting moved up into the cheater lobbies, and at that point, like, your hacks are not going to stand up to the third party software cheats. They're not. So I think a week ban, give them a good idea to stop, and then if they continue, you're getting into dangerous territory if you continue. All right, so last but not least, we have glitchers, which are often not malicious, but glitching occasionally does benefit in wins or kills, depending on the game you're playing, obviously. Some common glitches are usually built into the game code, literally meaning it's just a bug. It's not supposed to be that way. Nobody has bent the code to their benefit. It's literally just a glitch that people have found. And it's an exploit or a glitch. Same thing, same thing. Some examples of this are like the stim glitch in Warzone, where you can get unlimited stims and eventually win the game by stimming repeatedly in the storm if you need to. Now, because it's built into the game code and it requires no editing of the actual code itself, it ultimately falls on the devs to fix it. I think the only response to the players themselves, short of the dev team immediately patching the glitch once it's known, is being stripped of any winnings, leaderboard statuses, or stats obtained using the glitches. Meaning, if they won a tournament that was paid for $500 using stim glitches, well, they should return the money and they should not be in first place. Now, I'm not saying they need banned because they're just using what is in the game code, but ultimately, it falls on the devs. It does. And if the devs are feeling really spicy, maybe give them a 1-day ban, but like I said, that's up to the devs. They got to make sure that is fixed so people aren't exploiting, that's why we pay the devs the money when we purchase the game. We want the full setup, not just the release. All right, and now on to my bitch about Treyarch. They failed. I'll limit it to 30 seconds. Or try. All right. They failed. 3 months of no new content for Zombies fans, including 115 Day, which they made such a big deal about. No new characters, no new skins, no new perks, field upgrades, or even equipment for specifically zombies. It's a disgrace, and I will never ever spend my money on any Call of Duty product anymore. I'm done. Yeah, there's a new map coming into not even 2 weeks. In a week and a half. Cool. Go fuck yourself. It's been 4 months. I have over 100,000 kills on one map because I have not been given a lick worth of new content. Yeah, I'll play the new map. Yeah, I might even stream it. But you're not going to catch me spending any more money on anything Treyarch, Activision, or Call of Duty ever again. Not ever. Honestly, I hope that they go bankrupt. We spent our hard-earned money on this company. They got $3 billion in profits in 2020 alone. and they could give two fucks about making sure that we are happy with any content or not. Don't buy the games, don't buy the store bundles, don't spend any money on these trashy devs until they decide to work for us and not just our money. Okay, I think I kept that to about 30 seconds, but there it is. There it is. For new releases coming this year and already out, we'll quickly go over them. We got Hitman 3 that just released on the 20th of January, now 5 days ago, and it got a 9 out of 10 on IGN, PC Gamer, and Game Informer. So if you guys are into the Hitman series, definitely grab that. It's a great one. Other news coming this year, we got Halo Infinite coming in 2021, Dying Light 2, and the new Resident Evil, with a lot more. But yeah, so I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. It's been fun. But if you guys like the podcast, be sure to follow Black Ram Gaming on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Instagram. If you guys want to stay up with the latest news, or if you'd love to leave a comment and get in on the podcast, I'd love to have you and get your opinion heard. Message me on any of the social medias that I just mentioned, and I will either read your comments aloud next podcast, or I might be able to finagle getting you as a guest on the podcast. So if you have a voice and you want it to be heard, let me know. I will do my best to get with you. And now for our newest section of the podcast, and it's a quick one called What the Fuck Was That? I'm not wearing any pants right now, and I hope you aren't either. Stay saucy, Ramherd.